Hi, my name is Arnold, and I'm a senior here at Willamette.
My name is Ruben Randall, and I'm a sophomore here at Willamette.
And for our class project, we're going to be making a documentary talking about people of color's experiences here at Willamette, as well as being a person in a marginalized group. And for this project, I will be doing most of the recording, aka filming.
And for this project, I will be hosting the interviews. I will be asking students, student athletes, and faculty here at Willamette questions, and just try to find out their experience here at Willamette. As for I identify as a Mexican American, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
And I identify as a biracial African American Caucasian male, and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
One way I would describe discrimination is somebody being hated on or being put down based on how they identify.
I would describe discrimination as not only what Ruben said, but also someone being judged based on their skin color, what they're wearing, how they're talking, how they're acting, the color of their hair even, and putting them in a negative light and treating them differently, or if they look a certain way, giving them different privileges than you would give someone else. And that's how I would describe discrimination.
It had a sound
important to acknowledge the fact that there's different ethnicities, different cultures, and we all need to be aware that there is differences amongst us, but we're all human beings here. Yeah.
Completely agreeing with what Ruben said. My high school was pretty diverse. We had a lot of Caucasian students, a lot of African Americans, and then of course the smaller groups of Latinos, Asian Americans, etc. I actually am a transfer student, and so I started out at Seattle University, and although both schools are in the Pacific Northwest, which everyone knows is a very liberal section of the United States, Seattle U was a little different community-wise simply because of its location in Seattle, that because it was literally in the city of Seattle, there wasn't as much community because everyone was doing so many different things, which wasn't a bad thing, but you also really didn't get that same feel here at Willamette that there are people around you that think like you, have the same opinion as you, look like you. Whereas at Seattle, you'd find that select group of friends, but you wouldn't really be able to branch out much further than that. And then coming here to Willamette now 2 years ago has been completely different, but for all the better. I personally have loved it socially, academically, athletically. It's all been very positive. And then as far as being a minority on campus, it's been great to be on a team with Ruben and other people of color and stuff like that, have a coach of color, have an athletic director of color that all look like me, share the same opinions, and kind of know the experience of being a person of color. So that's why this project is not only important to us, but it's going to be really fun to make, just because it's funny to see the similarity and differences of other people, and also just get people's perspectives and learn new opinions and thoughts and stuff like that.
So today we're going to start with interviewing student athletes, so hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're here for the first interview with one of my really good friends, CJ. He plays on the basketball team. Yeah, so he just finished practice, so yeah, we're going to meet him in his locker room. What's good, bro?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm good. So how's practice, man?
It was good, man. It's a good day, you know, getting that work in.
Yeah, do you mind me asking you a few questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, for sure. I just want to say thank you for your time, man. Do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, I'm CJ Walker. I'm a sophomore here at Willamette. Play on the men's basketball team. I identify African American. So yeah.
Okay. So where'd you grow up?
I actually grew up in Placentia, California, Southern California area, predominantly white.
Okay.
Black people in my area, I was one of the few. There were also Mexican, Latino people also. but for black people, I was one of the few. Although I did transfer to a different high school halfway through my 4 years of high school, and I did end up going to a predominantly black, mixed race school, Latinos, Asians, Filipinos. So I kind of know the best of both worlds.
Okay.
I'll say it's a lot different. Here, it's, as everyone knows, predominantly white, Caucasian. It's just way different. Just the races. From like high school, we had white, we had black, Asian, Mexican, Latino. So I'll just say it's more integrated racially, culturally back in my high school, back home in Southern California. Get along with everyone gets along. I mean, we're all just people. I mean,
yeah.
I love my team, everybody is great people.
Yeah, so like I experienced some things like traveling, like especially going to Washington.
Yeah.
I did get some stares.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a little weird coming from Los Angeles where there's a lot of Hispanics, a lot of people of color. So like you kind of feel one with them. But going to Washington and going to like McDonald's, it was just predominantly white.
Yeah.
And like I was getting stares. It was just made me feel a little uncomfortable, but kind of was just like, you're a Mexican.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just
nah,
like.
exactly what you mean.
But like even throughout the stares, I was still like, okay, I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah.
Like, have you experienced anything like that traveling?
I mean, definitely. I mean, here in Salem, not really, because there's quite a bit of different cultures here in Salem. But I'll say in the smaller towns, traveling for like basketball, I mean, like you said, you walk into like a restaurant and you notice like I'm one of the only, possibly the only person of color in here. Like I've never experienced any direct like racism or like discrimination, but you just kind of know in the back of your head like I'm the only one of my kind in here. So it's just a little weird to like think about, but I'm still proud to be
here. It kind of makes you just sit back and just really appreciate being different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I kind of got out coming to Willamette. I'm really proud of who I am.
Yeah.
Just because back home, I went to a predominantly Hispanic high school, so like we were all like the same. Like nobody really asked who like what you identify as.
Yeah.
But that happened opening days here a lot. So I thought that was a little like, whoa, like
it was different.
It was different, but
different.
definitely welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, definitely judge free.
Definitely shows that here. I mean, with the rally, like I went out and I saw just everyone was just together, just a bunch of togetherness, which was great.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about more about that rally you went to?
Yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, people just went up, told their stories. Like everyone was just together. It was just really awesome to see.
It was
all
here
these
at Willamette?
Yeah. It was at the quad. I forgot. It was
Jackson Plaza. Jackson Plaza.
Yeah. Jackson Plaza. It was right there. Everyone, just a bunch of people came out. Like almost everyone.
Yeah, and
different races.
Just different races just coming together.
Yeah, it was great. It was a cool thing to see. Just stay confident. Just be comfortable in your own skin. Like, people are ignorant. Let them be ignorant. Don't let that change what you do. Don't let that change how you feel about yourself. Be a confident person. You know who you are, and just stick to who you are.
I feel like two really important things are education and confidence.
Oh yeah, easy.
You know, educate yourself and be comfortable in your own skin and be confident in your own skin.
Definitely.
You know. All right, CJ. I really appreciate your time and get buckets.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
So for the last set of interviews today, I'm gonna actually be interviewing two of my soccer teammates this year. Yeah, they're really close friends of mine, and they're in the locker room right now. Oh, what's up, bro?
What's up, Ruben? How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you? Good. Come on in.
Hey, bro.
Hey, what's up, bro?
No seat.
Yeah, come on. So, do you guys mind if I ask you guys a few questions?
Dude, yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
See the way it works.
I just want to say thank you for giving me your time. And could you introduce yourself to the people?
I'm Joseph Plaster. I'm 19 years old, sophomore at Willamette, play for the soccer team. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm a Filipino American.
I'm Josh Fuentes. I'm 21 years old. I just recently finished my 4 years on the Willamette men's soccer team. I am Mexican American, and I was born and raised in Southern California, Orange County, but moved to Salem in 5th grade. My community was pretty mixed race. Like the neighbors to my right and left were both white, but like across the street, there were like a lot of Mexican families, so it was pretty mixed race in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing in my neighborhood. My neighbors were white, just to the right and left of me, but across the street I had some Hawaiian people, Mexican families, definitely all sorts of diversity around.
Okay, and would you say the school was predominantly white? The school you guys went to? High school?
Yeah, my high school was. So I went to high school here in Salem, South
Okay.
Salem High School, South Salem Saxons.
Let's go
Saxons.
Saxons.
But yeah, it was most definitely predominantly white. There were a decent number of like Mexican students, not very many black students, not a huge amount of Asian students either, and other races weren't that large either.
My high school in San Diego, predominantly white, I'd have to say, just based on location where we were. We did have students that were bused in from other parts of the county, and that was usually where our diversity came from. But on campus, you could notice the groups a little bit. Like you would have the Filipinos from southern San Diego hanging out.
Okay.
All sorts, yeah. It was just like that.
I would say that Willamette is a lot more mixed race than my high school was. And even so, I would say it is more welcoming, even though there was like a pretty large like white majority at my high school. Even though there was like a lot of like still conflict per se, but here at Willamette, even though it's a lot more mixed up, I would say it's a lot more welcoming for sure.
So I think here at Willamette, I mean, in terms of numbers, my high school is about the same size. So if you look at the diversity across the scale, it's probably pretty similar in terms of the makeup of the school. But I'd say that Willamette is more open and welcoming for sure. Not as cliquey
Yeah.
in terms of who you are.
Personally, I think we're just all brothers. Like, blood couldn't make us any closer. I just want to get you guys' 2 cents on that.
I would 100% agree, dude. Like I love each and every one of like my teammates. They're more than teammates, like you said,
Yeah.
they're brothers. Definitely like there are people that I hang out with more than others, but that doesn't take my love away
Yeah.
from those people.
Like you can tell that we're a pretty diverse group.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But when we're all hanging out, it's all of us hanging out
It's-
together, which is really cool.
Like the color of our skin, how we identify, like any of that doesn't matter whatsoever. When we're together, we're just a bunch of bros.
Yeah, just a bunch of bros.
I'd have to say everyone brings something different. You know, we all have our personalities,
Yeah.
and that's really what we care for. Kind of the culture here at Willamette. We learn to like really listen to each other.
Yeah.
We're not just basing it off like, oh, that kid, I've seen him around, but I don't like how he looks. You know?
Yeah.
We're actually taking time to get to know people.
I think something that plays like a big role in that too is like the experiences that we all go through together.
Yeah.
We go through so much together each and every day during season, games, practices, traveling,
Yeah.
that all those experiences just bring us so close together as well. So I would say the experiences are a big part of it too. So personally, in like this extent to me growing up, it wasn't until like people like would know my last name Fuentes that people started like, when people found out I was Mexican, that I would get like different treatment. The color of my skin has been an advantage. I'll recognize it as such. Like it's been an advantage for me growing up, for sure, that I don't get judgment or certain like reactions from people. But yeah, definitely traveling with the team. Like I'll be introduced to like people, or like we'll just be at stores or something, and if someone like references me by last name or something, for whatever reason I'm talking to someone and my last name comes up, or like it comes up that I'm Mexican, then it's like, in some places it is like a slight like, oh, like you're not white.
Yeah.
Kind of reaction. Like that's the kind of vibe I get from people sometimes.
When traveling, like
Yeah.
in different places.
Different places of the country, exactly.
There was one moment, I was talking to CJ on the basketball team about this. We were going to Washington and we stopped at a McDonald's, and like our team was the only
I
I remember that.
only
yeah.
group of
We
people
were
of color.
And it was a pretty busy McDonald's.
It was a pretty busy McDonald's, and it was just
I remember that.
that was kind of a culture shock. It made me like sit back and realize, okay, you know what, the color of your skin's different, but that doesn't change who you are.
Yeah.
One thing that, just remembering this event,
Yeah.
people are seeing this. I definitely remember getting a few looks, and
Yeah.
it just being together in our group, we're like, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
Yeah, like
We-
since like we stayed together and we were all a group, like it was less like scary, I would say.
Less awkward.
Less awkward, less like just less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like
because
just being around
there
the
were
team.
definitely a lot of stairs, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
But just being around the team, experiencing the same thing every what's going through everybody's heads, the same thing I'm thinking, like why am I getting all these stares?
Yeah.
And like just experiencing that like together made it like just like
Easier.
made it easier to deal with, and just like not like
Not being alone. I'd like to point out is here at Willamette, it was a big shock nonetheless. But what I'm saying is
Yeah.
we're kind of in a bubble. We're seeing all these like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to realize that there are still individuals out there in
Mhm.
the country that don't really see things how we do. And I think it was, I'm not saying that it was a good thing,
Yeah.
but the fact that this happened woke everyone up. This is really important that they brought our whole school together on this topic. Now it's our time to realize that we really have the power. Like, we're controlling our own lives. The president,
yeah.
it is a significant impact, but,
Yeah,
if
but we
just
can't let-
we have to take every day
Yeah.
and take advantage of it, because if we're gonna let that ruin our day, then we're really letting them win.
Yeah, we can't let one person dictate whether or not we're gonna be successful.
Exactly. And sometimes it's gonna knock you down, but
Yeah.
that's part of life, you know.
I would say stand up for yourself. Say something. Do it in a safe way. If you're in danger of being harmed, then maybe not say something, but definitely let it be known that that's not okay. You know, it takes people to say something for there to be a change. That saying, like, for all it takes for evil to succeed is for like good people to do nothing, is kind of like something that I've thought about a few times. So do something is what I would say, but be safe about it.
My thing is just keep on trucking, really. No matter how, it's a sad truth, but no matter how much time goes on, there's always going to be someone
To just try to knock you down.
that's just going to knock you down. And the biggest thing is to remember your goals that you've set for yourself. Don't get too carried away with all the other outside factors. And just remember that your happiness is the biggest thing. And as long as you're happy and you keep striving towards your goals, none of the other shit matters.
Honestly. I want to say thank you for your time.
Of course, anytime, Ruben Randall.
Love you guys.
Love you, dude.
So catch us tomorrow. We're going to be interviewing faculty here at Willamette. Thank you.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be interviewing one of my professors here at Willamette. I just had her class, so let's see how this goes. Hello, Professor.
Yeah.
Do you have a minute?
Sure.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
No, not at all.
Alright, thank you. So I just wanted to start off by thanking you for giving me your time today. I know you have a busy schedule. So do you just want to start off by introducing yourself to the people?
Sure. So I'm Tabitha Knight. I am an assistant professor here at Willamette in the economics department. Let's see, and then as far as my identity that we were talking about, I identify as a Hispanic American woman who's also a member of the LGBT community. Probably the unequal treatment of people based on race, ethnicity, or otherwise social identity.
We are always running for the thrill of it.
Originally LA, actually.
Okay.
I was born there, lived there for 10, 12 years.
How was the community? Was it predominantly one race? Was it mixed race?
There was actually a pretty clear dividing line in San Fernando Valley
Uh-huh.
between a Hispanic community in Van Nuys and then a white community in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
And that was kind of where I lived, the VNSO, Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, kind of on that border. So I got to see kind of both sides. In Salem overall, I think it's actually shockingly similar because you've got East Salem and West Salem.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I see that same divide. Here, the Hispanic community is not really nearly as prevalent as I saw in LA. As well as the black community, we saw a lot more just different races in LA than we see here. Yes, definitely. In teaching a class like Econ, Race, and Gender, that can happen a lot.
Yeah.
So there's been circumstances in the past few years where somebody had used a term that was rather offensive in class, not recognizing that it was offensive. So we took a moment and talked about why it was not offensive, and then I assigned a reading on what is appropriate language and why the things that aren't appropriate are not appropriate. So that was a big moment, I think, for those classes.
So would you say a powerful tool in ending discrimination is education?
That is the tool. That is the most important tool, is understanding differences, understanding why we have these divides, and really what causes us to kind of perpetuate those stereotypes. Immediately after, yes. Immediately after, there were a lot of very distraught students and faculty members too.
Yeah, definitely.
There's, and I think there's still kind of the deep feeling almost of hurt from a lot of people on campus. But I think since then, in the last week or so, I think things have mostly calmed down. Not quite back to normal, but I don't know that we'll ever get back to it.
I think coming back from Thanksgiving with families definitely helped.
Yeah.
But I want to say a lot of the interviewers were very grateful of the community here at Willamette after the elections. Like, professors would take time out of class just to talk to students, talk to the whole group, just reminding them everything's going to be okay. And we just have to do our part as citizens and just go day by day and just get better and better, I guess. You know?
Yeah. Vote, stand up for what you believe in, support others that are feeling in danger of one thing or another. Well, if it's discrimination that's affecting their kind of safety or something like that, I would say the first thing you do is get to a safe place. And usually, honestly, that is Willamette. So I'd say get to that safe place first. If it's more of a general, less safety-based, I'd say stand up for yourself. The only way we can stop these things is to challenge these negative stereotypes and challenge that, as long as you don't put yourself in harm.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Of course.
I really appreciate it. And catch us tomorrow when we interview regular students here at Willamette.
Talking to myself. Will I see again?
So the next person we're going to be interviewing is Danya. She's one of my really good friends here. Let's see how this goes. She said, come here. Hey Danya, how are you?
Hey.
What are you doing?
I'm working on an essay.
So would you mind me asking you a few questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. So do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Okay, my name's Danya. I'm from Pasadena, California, and I'm 19 years old. I'm half Vietnamese and half American. So Pasadena's pretty split up. There's a very wealthy white side, but then there's also a very mixed other side. And I went to the very mixed high school, so I got a pretty diverse education. There was probably a lot more understanding of discrimination, just because I think people here at Willamette are less likely to understand what it's like to be discriminated against for their skin color, because it is a predominantly white campus. And so at my high school, a lot of people just understood what it was like, how they were being treated because of who they were. I think it has more to do with gender for me, just because as a half Vietnamese person, I'm not super discriminated against for that. But I think the election and with Trump was more, it was more targeting my identity as a woman than as someone of color. But that's personal because I just haven't felt discriminated against as a person of color. I would tell them to fuck everyone who tries to make them something that they're not.
So just be proud of who you are and be comfortable in your own skin, and no matter what, be happy? Is that basically what you're trying to say?
I think just don't let other people give you labels, because that's where you'll lose what you want to be, or how you want to show society who you are.
That's good. Thank you, Danya. I really appreciate your time. The last interview for today is going to be with one of my good friends, Sanjay. He said to meet us here, so let's see how it goes. Oh, Sanjay!
What is good, my dude?
How are you, man?
Good stuff.
How's your day? You don't mind me asking you a few questions today, right?
Oh no, go for it, man.
Okay, for sure.
California, originally, which is near Los Angeles, and I'm 19 years old. I'm half Mexican, half Indian, and yeah, that's me. Yeah, it was pretty diverse for, well, LA is a pretty diverse area, but my community in particular was predominantly Asian, or containing East Asian families and a lot of white people. So I didn't get to see a lot of brown people, like not a lot of Mexicans, not a lot of Indians. So I was one of the few people of my kind in my area. But I was definitely a rarity, especially being of mixed race. There wasn't a lot of people with especially like of Latin descent or of South Asian descent. It was a lot of people of just either like white backgrounds or just Eastern Asian backgrounds as well, whether they're Korean or Japanese or Chinese. Not really in my area, my family. Willamette, I would say there's roughly the same proportion amount of white people. Actually, it's a lot similar to my community, really, considering we have a lot of the Japanese students from Tokyo University of America. But I actually would say it's slightly more diverse than my community growing up. But granted, Los Angeles has a lot of different ethnic communities, and I'm thankful that I grew up in such a diverse area.
So you feel pretty welcomed here?
Yeah, most definitely. Willamette reminds me a lot of home. There's not like too many people of one particular heritage or culture that like makes me feel like I'm the only one of mine. So I feel like I can, identify and fit in with a lot of people here. Yeah, man, like, I'm brown, so like,
yeah.
Straight up, like, people are like, are you Muslim? I'm like, no, I was raised Catholic,
Yeah.
I'm not like automatically a Hindu. I don't always wear like a turban. I don't wear a red dot on my forehead. So it's not like you know, we're all the same just because you see something on like TV that shows all brown people are the same, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely important to educate people that there's differences.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, just because I don't look Mexican doesn't mean like I'm not either, you know? Like, my name is Sanjay, but my middle name is Mateo, and Mateo is like a Latin Hispanic name, you know? So you gotta like educate people and just be like, yo, that's not how everyone is. You can't just follow a stereotype, you know? I feel like before the elections, there was a lot of, you know, hope that like people were like, oh, you know, Hillary Clinton's gonna win, you know, there's not gonna be, we're gonna keep going in this progressive state of America. But once, like, you know, after the election happened and right as these results were coming in, I saw a lot of my peers who identify with a variety of different groups. You know, they were like frightened and just like, you know, just because we're not white or, you know, we're like not male, we're not like, we don't identify with like what's been classically like, you know, portrayed as an American, you know, there's gonna be some changes and it sucks. So I know the mood got a lot somber, but I'd hope, you know, this is like a time for people to get together and be like, no, that's not gonna happen, man. You know, I'm a male of color, but I still have, you know, some privilege that a lot of people who identify with other groups don't have. So like, it's up to like people like us who have, you know, that privilege is to not only like speak up for other people, but to just like, give them like, do something as simple as just like shutting up and being like there to listen and like hear about the plight and educate yourself and other people in your family about what we can do just to support one another. As far as racial discrimination, I've had my fair share of you know, run-ins with like the TSA and all that shit because I'm brown, and you know, my parents told me not to get involved with police as much as possible. And I would say, you know your rights, like actually know your rights, like, you know, when dealing with people of authority, you know, have someone with you who's a support structure, you know, and if you can't, and those two things are hard to do, you know, get involved with the community that you identify with, and they'll be there to help you and support you, and just like, you know, say, you know, fuck anyone who's a bigot. You know?
I really appreciate your time, man.
Dude.
Hell yeah. We're out here. Let's go.
So Ruben and I just got done with the interviews over the past couple of days. It's been a really interesting process, and now kind of the end of this film and / documentary is just us reflecting on what we learned, what people told us.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this documentary. I just want to thank the people that we were able to interview, taking time out of their busy schedules to make this project happen. I just want to say thank you. We learned that Willamette is a very welcoming community. These people of different ethnicities, different cultures still feel welcomed here, which is a great place for college, because college is a place where you open up, you meet new people, and it's a place you need to be comfortable. And this topic can be a very uncomfortable topic, so I feel like being able to do this project does show how open the Willamette community is.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agreeing with Ruben. It was definitely a very fun experience meeting new people, hearing their thoughts about being at Willamette, learning more about them and the school itself. One thing that I thought was kind of an interesting difference between others is that, as Ruben and I know, for a lot of the student athletes, they had a similar opinion that although the community of Willamette is great, that being on an athletic team and coming in here, you automatically get that very close-knit family of friends. And I think that's something that obviously normal students don't really get to experience because that's not why they're here. And so that was something that also struck me and that Ruben and I are very familiar with through our athletic careers, of being a part of a secondary family here at school. Especially if things don't always work out right away at school, you always have that family to go back to within sports because you guys are all playing on the same team.
Yeah, and also throughout the interviews there was very similar lessons. A few of them were be comfortable in your own skin, be happy with who you are, be proud of who you are. A big thing that can end all sorts of discrimination is education. Just taking the time to learn about other people. There are differences in cultures, in races.
And looking forward for me, if we had more time on this project, I'd love to interview more people, get even more opinions, maybe sit in on a class and just listen to how discussion environments work with students around us. Obviously, we're very busy students, and unfortunately we don't have a ton of time to continue to expand on this, but I think this would be a really interesting project if we did have the time to continue on. I mean, it's something that really never has an end because everyone's opinions, there's just so many that you can never stop gathering. People are always learning new things, changing their ideas. I would highly advise people, if you ever get an option in the future, to definitely look into creative projects like this. I think it's a fun but different way to go about doing a final project, and you learn a lot of new things you might not learn writing an essay.